suit and tie and get your hair cut way up high. Get yourself a lawyer, son. You're gonna need a real good one.
You need a good one, but you might not have one for long. That's the problem. David Whiting, good morning.
Good morning,
Or
Virginia.
David just gave me a frightened look. No, David. Not because you're for the high jump. I don't mean that.
I expect to get told that after the last program, not before.
Right. Take 2 weeks' pay and get out. No, because we're expecting to hear from the Premier, and we will be playing as much of that press conference as we can because, frankly, there are a lot of questions to be asked and answered. But I've got divided views on that, David. Would you like to hear? This on text. You whinge about the Premier not being on tap for you, and then you never play the presses in full. Infuriating. And then this from Judy Annie Gembrook. Please keep Dan short. We'll hear about everything ad nauseum. I'd much rather hear the legal session, please. So I'm caught in the middle. What would be your considered advice?
No, I would
David?
bow to your superior knowledge.
I need to get you right on mic if I can. Just get you moving.
Okay, that's better.
There
Yep.
we go. That's much better. And can you hear him over there, Jules? Because okay, it's quite low in my cans, but maybe I'm
You could turn up the volume.
I'm getting tinnitus.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting tinnitus. I've got the wretched ringing in the ears. Started a number of years ago on radio, got worse on TV, reaching its apex now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if it was a nice, musical soundtrack or something constantly playing in my mind.
Well, you could move to ABC Classics. You'll be fine.
I had that in my head the whole time. Quick, over to you, 1300 222 774. Not doing homework, do we have to?
No.
Okay, because let's take some calls, because otherwise, goodness knows how long we're going to get with this. Rosie is first up in Maribyrnong. Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Virginia. Hi, David.
Hi.
Thanks for taking the call. I have a house that's currently being built behind me, and it has
Do you mean on your block of land or on the block of land behind you?
a block of land behind
Okay,
me.
yes.
It's got two windows that overlook my yard directly, and they're opaque, but they're opening windows. It has a third window that overlooks probably 75% of my backyard. I've tried to talk to the builders and the owner. They said, well, the council signed off on this. There's no consultation with me. They've said that that's an ensuite, so it's not a living space.
There's the concept of what's called a habitable room.
Yes.
What you can do, while the windows may be opaque, they're unlikely to be able to open fully. So they might be able to open 3 or 4 inches for ventilation, but not fully. You might go down to council and ask for a look at the planning permit that was issued for that property so you can see what the conditions are insofar as they deal with open space and overlooking. In the event that you think that the permit has been issued contrary to the law, and you should talk to a planner about that, it's possible for you to go to VCAT to get the planning permit suspended. But the difficulty you're going to have is at the end of the day, you might need to pay somebody's costs if you ultimately lose. So start with the council and then get a copy of the permit that allowed the construction. And in the event that there's nothing there, then I would still be talking, there still might be a breach of the building regulations with the rooms, and in which case you go to the building surveyor who issued the building permit, and you tell the building surveyor that these matters don't comply with the building regulations.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Rosie. Thanks for calling in. Rhonda's called in from Geelong on a topic that just keeps coming up over the last few weeks. David, Rhonda, good morning.
Good morning, Virginia and David. Yes, I'm one of those people caught up in that debacle. We purchased a package of a cruise and flight. It was cancelled just before we were due to leave. That was 90 days ago. Now, the online travel agency has said that they have received our flight refund, but they refuse to give us that flight refund until the cruise refund comes through. And this could be months and months and months away. And meanwhile, they're sitting on my $1,400.
So my expectation is that you will have paid 2 amounts, an amount for the cruise and an amount for the flights?
No, one amount.
A bundled amount, was it?
Yes.
So presumably the agent doesn't know how much is coming back from the cruise company.
Yes, they know. Not from the cruise company, but they've told me exactly to the cent the airline refund.
Then my view is they should be able to pay it to you immediately, and if not...
They just say it's...
I understand.
It's just not their policy.
I don't care what their policy is. I say the money's yours.
Me neither.
Money's yours. VCAT if you have to.
VCAT is the
if you
place
have
to go.
Yes.
That's anywhere else I can go to. They're not a member of the Travel Agents
No.
Association.
VCAT will be able to take a civil dispute for you.
Thank you for calling in, David Whiting. Just hold that thought. Hold your calls. Daniel Andrews, the Premier of Victoria, is holding a press conference. But in the meantime, we've got David Whiting here, and we certainly don't want to waste the opportunity of getting some free legal advice for you. So this morning, we'll endeavour to do the same. David, thanks for waiting and for listening there.
It was an interesting presentation.
Oh, good. Anything in particular you take from that?
No, I will listen to the questions, except I live in one of the local government areas, which is considered to be a hotspot.
Which one?
Moreland.
And so are you being careful?
I like to think I've always been careful, but so I'm now actually walking to work.
Yep.
So no public transport.
Excellent. All right. Well, we'll keep our eye on you too. Steve is on the line from Wollert. Hi, Steve. Go ahead.
Good morning. How are you all?
Good, thanks.
David, just a quick one. I'll make it as brief as I possibly can. I've apparently been a victim of identity takeover with one of the 4 big banks. This was discovered a week ago when I was knocked back for a home loan.
Yes.
The debt was incurred in 2017. The fraudster went to 7 different lending institutions looking for credit cards or personal loans up to $30,000. He did that in as many days. So what's happened is that I contacted the bank, and the bank has done an investigation supposedly on around the 16th of this month.
Yes.
And said, yes, it is fraudulent. We're going to wipe your credit and all that sort of stuff and get that all sorted.
Yes.
But I was wondering how this could possibly happen, and I was talking to the manager via email of one of the big 4 banks from the fraud department, and it turns out that they knew in 2017 that it was fraudulent. As soon as they issued the card, it was emptied into a false bank account.
They knew.
So they didn't
knew.
know at the time of issuing, but they knew immediately after issuing.
Mm.
Yep.
Correct.
Yes.
And then they've on-sold my debt, or the debt, to a third party, which has left me in a position now that I can't get a home loan.
Well, it's not the on sale that causes the non-home loan. The banks are members of an organisation which provides credit reporting.
Correct.
And they will have the credit file will contain a list of, and you can get a copy for free if you're prepared to wait.
I've got a copy of that already, David.
Right. And then what you can do is what you do need to do now is go back to the credit reporting agency and get them to amend their records on the basis of the current bank saying that it was a fraudulent application.
Yeah, I have a document from that bank saying it was fraudulent.
Yes.
My question is...
But are they is that bank refusing you a home loan on the basis of
No,
this
it's
credit
not
report?
that bank. It was another one of the big 4.
Well, then the bank where you want the home loan,
you
you understand that, and that's because they're relying upon the credit report. You, with the
correct.
bank's assistance, need to get your credit report corrected.
Yeah, but what of the fact that they knew, and I have it in writing, that it was fraudulent in 2017, yet they still on-sold my debt to a third party?
I would be talking to the Financial Services Ombudsman. It would appear to me that if they knew it was fraudulent, it is inappropriate for them to endeavour to sell that debt in circumstances where they can't identify the person who owes the money to anybody.
Yeah.
So I would be Financial Services Ombudsman complaining about the bank's behaviour, and then go back to the people who issue the credit report and get them to amend their records.
Yeah, I've got a third party doing that for me now,
Okay.
but it's just opened up a Pandora's box of headache.
I bet it has.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Good
Cheers.
luck.
Thank you.
Sounds like he's got everything in hand that he needs
does,
to reverse
yes.
this situation, and you need to reverse that quickly. Nick has called in from Paran. Hello to you.
Yes, hi. How you going?
Good.
I'm just calling because we've got an issue with a real estate agency.
Yes.
We were in an apartment rental where we had an issue with the plumbing,
Yes.
and we disputed the paying the bill in whole and offered to halve the cost with the owner.
I don't. There was a plumbing dispute, and someone says that the owner says the problem was what you did, and you say that the problem was the quality of the premises that you rented.
Yes.
Yes.
But we also felt it was our fault, and so we were willing to half the cost with them. They
If it
said
was
no.
your fault, Nick, why weren't you prepared to pay all of it?
Well, we didn't think it was our fault. The issue was the drain grate in the bath
Yes.
faulty. So when you lifted up the plug, you lifted up the grate as well. So when the water was going down, there was nothing to filter the water. So a bath toy went down the drain.
Okay, yes. So somebody took the drain off in order for the bath toy to go down?
Not on purpose. It just pulled out. It was just the suction of the plug. You pulled the plug out, and then the
Oh,
the grate
wow,
came off.
okay.
What was the bath toy?
Oh, it was just around. It was perfect size to plug the hole. It was just a little bit too small, so it went down. It was just a plastic thing.
Yep.
And so
Nick, I have no divine view about how you would apportion it. I would say it's part your fault because presumably you knew about the plug issue before you put the toy in the bath. And it's an issue that you may have raised with the landlord before you got to the point of putting the toy in. But 50-50, I would have thought probably more on the agent or more on the owner than you. But I really got no idea.
okay, well, I mean that's the half of it. So we left. So we said we'd pay half. They said no. We left communication there. We figured, all right, well, our lease is up soon. We're going to move. And they'll just
And they took the money out of your bond. Is that right?
We just assumed that they would. They didn't.
Yes.
And then 10 months down the track, just out of the blue, they're asking for the money.
Well, I know VCAT's pretty busy at the moment, but a residential tenancy dispute such as the one you're involved in is run at VCAT.
But is there a basis for an argument here,
Yeah, your
David?
argument would be I don't know the money. And what you're doing is you go to VCAT to say, how much should I be paying in this situation?
But I just figured that the dispute was over. We've moved out. We've got our bond back. We've signed or whatever.
I understand, but there's a thing called the Limitation of Actions Act, and it doesn't run out 3 months after or 10 months after your lease does. It's a 6-year deal.
A 6-year deal.
Yeah, it's a 6-year limitation period for most matters. For some small matters, it's 2 years.
But if you've got some responsibility in this, Nick, surely you'd want to pay.
No, but he's already paid half, and he
paid for
thinks
the
that's
half.
more than you ought to pay.
Yeah, I feel like I do feel like we are partly responsible, and I tried to rectify the matter at the time.
There's two issues here, Nick. The first one is that I would think that it's unlikely that the owner will want to spend the money chasing you. Because how much is the half? $200, $300?
No, well, I think the overall bill was close to $700.
And you've paid $350. So we're now talking about $350 and an hour a day of the agent's time and the preparation of the paperwork. They may choose to do nothing. On the other hand, most estate agents run a review of renters. So I wouldn't want an adverse report to appear on a database about you as a renter, because when you signed a rental agreement for that property, you will have been probably given consent for that data to be included on a database.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
So your reputation is as important as the 350.
And is worth a heck of a lot more.
Yes.
I was going to make a gag there about rubber ducks, but
I was hoping it was a rubber duck, but it wasn't.
I asked the question.
You did.
I do expect answers on this program,
I
David.
was disappointed with the answer.
Very, very quickly, there was one matter, wasn't there, from homework?
There was a homework
we
matter
needed to
from
get to.
Eve from Wantirna.
That's right.
And Eve had a friend who was moving from an aged care facility from a retirement village to an aged care facility. She'd read that if you move to an aged care facility, then the payment needs to be made promptly. The answer is the payment. If you are a former resident non-owner. Now, there are 3 ways you can move into an aged care facility. You can buy the unit, you can lease the unit with a capital payment, and the last way that you do it is that you lend the place money that gets paid back. The first one, you're a resident owner. The other 2, you're a resident non-owner. If you are a resident non-owner, then you're entitled to the money back 6 months after the later of leaving the unit, moving into an aged care facility and being obliged to pay the accommodation payment at the aged care facility.
Okay.
So 6 months.
Good. David, we'll see you again next week. Thank you so much. David Whiting there, our talkback lawyer.